Hello, welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my 992 Turbo S. This is a video you knew was coming, this is a video I knew was coming. I do it every single year, and this year is no exception. We're in a 20 zone, ladies and gentlemen, hence I'm dawdling along here. This video actually comes with a very exciting announcement from Ctek. They have recently released their Ctek CS1. Now this charger, and I bang on about charging, that's my mum. That was actually my mum. Should I go and harass her? I actually don't want to put my mum on the internet, otherwise I drive along behind her. That's thrown me off my train of thought there. Ctek have recently launched their CS1, and what better scenario to talk about it, as I always do, in my end of year roundup, recap, and sneak peek of the year ahead. So the CS1 is their most advanced charger to date. I call it the idiot-proof charger, but that's not actually how they market it. It is effectively a really intelligent charger that it's so smart you don't even need to plug the positives and negatives to the right terminal. You just got two black leads and you plug them in however you want onto the battery, and the charger will decipher which is the positive, which is the negative. Some really interesting driving going on here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't creep out at junctions, it's not a good idea. So the Ctek CS1 will also decipher whether or not you've got a normal lead battery or you've got your lithium battery, the type of which you get in McLarens, you get in the Pista, your lightweight batteries. So traditionally, and myself included, I would need to make sure I had different chargers for the different types of cars. But the CS1 actually, it's just an all-in-one charger, to be honest. You literally just plug it on however you want to any old battery. The charger will talk to the battery, find out how big it is, what it needs, what type it is, and actually what terminal it's plugged into, and it will sort it all out. It doesn't just charge your car up, meaning that you can start your car. It actually keeps the health of your car tip-top, and there's one thing I can't stress enough, and one thing I've learned and fallen foul of so much, and one of the reasons I bang on about this so much, a dodgy battery in your car will give you so many issues with your vehicle. It will keep it off the road every now and again, and it will just be a complete pain. It's one of those things in the background that a lot of people don't know is wrong with their cars, and they don't do anything about it, and they don't appreciate the severity of it. So one thing I do, I get a Ctek, particularly a CS1, if you're a busy bee and you can't be bothered to faff around with multiple different things, plug it in, and if your battery is a little bit unhealthy, the charger will actually descale it and actually improve the health of the battery, improve its performance, and also ensure your car doesn't spend time off the road. It's a really cool, sleek piece of kit. It's really smart, and it's available now, finally. I've known about this for a little while, and I'm pleased to say it's now out. So grab one of those, it'll be the best thing you do for your garage in 2022. So speaking of which then, garages, what's going on in mine? I'm gonna start with the most contentious car first. I'm gonna start with the Ferrari F12 that I had. I actually bought that in February 2019, I want to say. Might even been 2018. Which means the finance is coming to roll over in February, I think. I need to look into that. Anyway, the F12, I tentatively put that up for sale a few months ago. It went to Amari. It followed my Hurricane Evo rear-wheel drive to Amari Supercars up north. They were fantastic to deal with the Hurricane Evo. They bought it off me, lickety split. They did a cash buy on that one. Gave me loads of money for it. It was instant. It was fantastic. They sent the truck, blah, blah, blah. And they said, Tom, we've got people after F12s. Would you like to send your F12 along? And in a split second, I just said, oh, go on then. They sent a truck for it. They made it super easy. So I let my F12 go up north. I didn't sell it to them. I just let them put it on their SOR. So off it went up north. And it has been for sale with them. Now, there was a saga involving the F12 that we'll get into another time. But the good news is the F12 is back on the channel very shortly, okay? So the F12 is not gone. It's coming back to the channel. I'm delighted to say so. I didn't even really want to sell it anyway. I just had a very weak moment. So the F12 is coming back to the channel. So some good news to kick things off. Obviously the Hurricane Evo rear-wheel drive, that went fairly shortly after buying it, about 6 months later. I made money on that one, which is chaos. 992 Turbo S, then a nice obvious one. That's obviously just arrived in the garage. I have no plans to get rid of it anytime soon. I do have something coming in April 2022 with a Porsche badge on it, with a PTS colour option, which I will be going into very soon and getting you guys and girls involved in very soon on the channel. We're going to do a spec video. I'm going to reveal exactly what it is coming in April 2022. So huge shout to Porsche for that, for allowing me a slot on this particular car. Very, very cool. That is coming, so do stay tuned for that. On that note, I've still got my 997 GT3 RS 0.2. I've still got my 996 Carrera 4S, which I love. I've still got my 912, which is still at D class. It's still at D class. They're just finishing the interior on that, and then it'll actually be good to drive. And I do want to take that on a trip when things open back up travel-wise. Again, getting deja vu here. I've still got my 1987 Targa. That is actually at Rint. So many of you remember that that car blew up unceremoniously on Modball Classic. They've been since trying to search for a new ECU. I completely destroyed the ECU on it. I let it overcharge. The alternator was overcharging. I didn't clock what was really going on and the kind of the severity of allowing that to overcharge the battery. The battery blew up and it blew the ECU with it in the middle of the Cumbrian Highlands. I was up Creek basically in that car for several hours on the side of the road. So the Targa is coming back. We've sourced an ECU. I say we, Rint have sourced an ECU for it, and that will be back on the channel very, very soon. And there's just a couple other bits and bobs that they're doing with the car before I reveal it back again on the channel. Then it's going to be, I think, maybe staying at Rint because they've got a storage unit there, and I've run out of space in London and the Cotswolds. So that will be coming back to the channel. That's not gone anywhere. I realise I've got a load of these cars and you don't see them at all. That is not my intention. That's not how I want it to be on the channel. Just sometimes these things go away for extended periods of time. I get busy, so I can't go and film with them. I get busy, so I can't go and collect them. And it's just one of those things that sometimes happens. So the Target is staying. It's a birth year car. I love it. And that's a kind of an end goal car for me. So I'm going to hold on to that car. We've still got the SLS, fresh from its Ctek PPF, which really annoyed a load of you this year. In the latter half of this year, I got some altered black Ctek PPF. I put it on the bonnet, and I also put it on the side of my silver SLS to make it look like the 300SL racing car that's kind of been adopted by IWC Racing. That didn't go down well. You hated that. You guys absolutely hated me doing that to the SLS. There were very few positive comments in that. I kind of did expect that, to be fair, and I kind of don't care either. I constructed the deal with Ctek so that that black stuff can come off, the altered black PPF, and it's actually got the amazing Ctek Turbo S. And it's actually got reaction film, the standard amazing clear Ctek reaction film underneath it. So that will just come off and reveal the car as new underneath it as well. It's fresh from a Mercedes service and MOT, so the SLS is good to go, to be honest with you. It's good to go, and it is staying on the garage. Values wise, the SLS is good news, to be honest. They are looking to nudge around the 200 grand mark now. And there was an amazing example that actually went pretty cheap at Historics Auctions recently. Absolute bargain. One of my followers, I think Denny, picked that up for about 190 odd grand with buyer's fees. Low mileage car, ceramic brakes, red interior, silver multi-spokes, the proper spec. And I think he paid 190 something. So the values are nudging on the SLS, and I think it's a good place to be in the medium to long term. So I'm going to hold on to that. Now, the big boy, the elephant in the room, my Carrera GT. I haven't sold it. I've still got it. It's news to you and news to me, to be honest with you, because I haven't seen it for probably a month or two now. It is in my storage unit in London. It's absolutely fine. I've had it sat there on its Ctek charger. That one's actually on a Ctek MXS10. It's the big boy trickle charger. It's been on it since pretty much I bought the car, and it seems happy on it, so I'm going to leave it on that charger. But the Carrera GT is an example of a car where you really don't want to let the battery go flat and have any battery issues with it at all. When the battery needs replacing on a Carrera GT, I think you need to take the wheel arch lining out and some other crap inside the car, and it's a huge, scary job for something so simple as a battery. The battery itself, well, if you go to Porsche, then they'll charge you 200 quid for it, but the battery itself is about 80 quid, right? But the labour and the stress of getting your car trucked somewhere and whatever to go and get the battery out is just not worth doing. So that's really important. I keep that tip-top, and I don't want any low voltages across that car causing any other issues, because it's not a nice car to get fixed. So the CGT is staying in my garage. They are now over £1 million in the UK. There is at least 2 examples off market now for well over £1 million in the UK. It's happening, it's happened, I said it would, and here we are. Carrera GTs are over £1 million in the UK. I called it this time last year, I called it when I bought the car, and here we are. So yeah, on paper, quids in on the CGT. It wasn't the main motivation for buying it, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't something that I hugely factored into buying that car. So yeah, I think I've rung the bell on the Carrera GT. Long-term plans for that car, I'm going to sit in it, to be honest with you. I think they're going to nudge 2 million quid, probably fairly soon, to be honest with you. There are a lot of prominent people, one of which, Mr. M Bridger 1 on Instagram, who's owned a McLaren F1, he's owned F50s, he's still got a Carrera GT, he's owned everything under the sun. He recently came out and said the CGT knocks spots off all of them, and I'm inclined to believe him, having not driven an F50 or an F1. So I think the jump to £1 million for the CGT, it's a huge barrier to hit, but I think once cars go past £1 million, you enter that kind of that billionaire, that shake zone where numbers really don't matter. They're just an irrelevance, they're just an admin point. And I think the jump between 1 million and 2 million will be super quick in comparison to how long it took them to hit £1 million. They're well over £1 million in the US. They're about 1.3, 1.4, and there's a couple of examples in the UK. I believe DK have actually got an example for over £1 million now in the UK, and not a super low mileage, you know, like absolutely everything perfect car. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's done, I think, 11 or 12,000 miles. So CGTs are very good news, and I hate to sound like a know-it-all, but I did tell you so. So yeah, very exciting times with the CGT. What else have we got relic and icon wise in the garage? We've got the Testarossa, that is just come fresh from the Classic Car Company. They've done amazing work on the Testarossa. It will probably go in for a service over the winter at some point, and I will use it over the winter. I'll just use it on dry, non-salty days. I'm going to cherish that car and baby it a little bit, but the Testarossa is staying in the garage pretty much for the long term, to be honest with you. They've shot up value-wise as well. I think I'm about 50 up on that car now, judging by the current market on a kind of conservative estimate, which was good buying for me. Been very lucky with that. Could have gone either way. But I think the Testarossa now, particularly the mono cars, I know I bang on about it, but I think they're going to be good news. They're so iconic. They are such a symbol of the 80s. I don't know what's going on with this camera here, it's doing my head in. They're such a symbol of the 80s. You really can't talk about the 80s without the Testarossa. And if you look at the equivalent Countach, you know, the collectible spicy Countaches, they're 400 odd grand. So I really don't think there's room for Testarossas to be sitting at 170, 180 for long. I think the spicy, decent, you know, UK cars, Classic A, mono, low mileage, full history, full paperwork cars, they're gonna be £250,000 before long. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I think they're worth that. You know, they're art grade cars. They're so distinctive. They're so symbolic. I just absolutely love them. They're kind of what people grew up with, and yeah, I think they're going to the moon, basically. What else have I got in the garage? I've got my E93 M3. There is some content coming with that car very soon. There's been some issues in the background regarding the paperwork on that car, regarding logbook, DVLA. It's been a complete nightmare for about 18 months on that car. And I finally resolved it. Well, the guys at the Classic Car Company have, and we've done some stuff with it. I've changed the number plate, so that's coming back to the channel very soon. I had an issue with that car as well. I didn't leave it on a trickle charger. Not all my spots have trickle chargers in them, so I let that car go dead. It sat there for about 3 months, completely dead. I fired it back up again. I got my Ctek CS1, which is the portable unit. I got that fired up, plugged into the car, and that actually resolved it and got it going again. So big up the Ctek CS1. That's like your mobile kind of battery pack type thing that you bring to like the sort of thing you bring to a music festival, if those things happen anymore. When your phone goes dead, you just plug it in. You don't need a power source, you just need to bring it with you charged up. So that's what I use to start up the M3 again. But more content is coming with that to the channel. I'm going to hold on to that M3 long term. It's a beautiful car. It's really, really meaningful to me, that car. So that's sticking around. My Range Rover, that is going. That's going at the end of December. That's when its lease is up. That is the only car that I actually lease. That is going to disappear at the end of the month. I'm going to get emotional, but my brand new Range Rover will arrive, don't know, maybe March, maybe February. I'm not actually sure. The full specking video, of course, of my Range Rover is actually on the channel as well. It's done 100 and something thousand views, which is quite exciting for someone sat on a configurator. So that is coming. Unfortunately, my Range will be going, but I've loved it. It's been absolutely incredible, and I'm trying to extend the lease on it for a couple of months, just so there's no overlap between the two Range Rovers, because I can't live without a Range Rover. I just think they're just so good. Now, very excitingly as well, I now have a full electric car on the channel. I've got a Polestar 2. The collection video was not long ago on my channel. I've now got a full EV for London on the channel and in my garage. I'm going to have that for about a year or so, which is very, very exciting indeed. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Let's get in behind him. Hopefully you can see that on the GoPro there. It's nicely done, sir. D badge 992 Carrera S. Does look good. Usually I hate the sports exhaust, but that's lovely. Well in, sir. And black wheels. Usually hate them as well. Done very well there. My Polestar 2 is now on the channel. It's a performance pack car. It's a plus pack car. It's a pilot pack car. It is loaded to the hill. So if you're interested in all things EV, make sure you go and check out the collection video on that. There'll be a first drive coming to the channel, and I will be doing the performance upgrade to it very soon. I will have that, as I say, around a year, maybe longer, maybe shorter, I don't know. But that's not going to be a press car I've got for a week. That's going to be a longer term car on the channel. So I'm excited to share my ownership views of an EV and share also the excitement of having actually a pretty bananas electric car. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing, that car. It's subtle, it's stealthy, but it is seriously aggressive. So we'll get into that as well. If you know, you know about the Polestar 2. I think that's pretty much it then, car-wise. What have I got up my sleeve for 2022, and what have I got as my garage goals for 2022? Is there anything that I'm desperately after? I'd love a PDK GT3 Touring. I'd love one. I just don't know if I'm going to get one, to tell you the truth. I don't know if it's going to happen. Allocation is just a complete nightmare on them. And to be honest with you, I love this so much. I know it's completely different. I kind of think I've got a ballistic, exciting, kind of sneaky daily driver come driving weapon in this. This thing does everything, absolutely everything. And you can take the roof off, and it's got back seats. I just don't know about a GT3 Touring to replace this. If I got allocation, I'd take it, but I'd be hard pressed to get rid of this. I just think this really is now peak 911, particularly the cab variant. It just does so many different things. So yes, other than that, there's nothing really I'm yearning for. I'd love a Pagani Huayra. I'd absolutely love one of them. I'm not really at that stage financially where I can do it yet. I do need to buy a big fat house at some point, but I don't want to do that at the expense of toys. So we shall see. I think I can do it anyway. So we'll see what 2022 holds, but there might be some surprises. There may well be some impulse buys, and don't say no or poo-poo the idea of a hypercar coming to the channel, because I may well just do it. I'm prone to spur of the moment decisions, and with Charles and Dean in tow, helping me fund my silly decisions, anything really is possible. They got me into a CGT at a point where the world was going to meltdown. They can help me get into a hypercar in 2022. So I'd love a Huayra. I would love a Zonda, but I think the Zonda is too far gone now. I think they're too many millions. We shall see. We shall see, guys and girls. The green 968 that you've seen on my channel, if this video goes out before the 23rd of December, there will still be time to go and get a ticket for the green 968. That is a car that I bought for classic giveaways. I thought it would be a quirky piece of Porsche history. It's the 30th anniversary of the 968, and I thought it would go down better than it has. I think it's a little bit too niche for a lot of you, but if you know what you're looking at and you like cool, quirky Porsches, that's the one for you. That is going to be the first and last time that is probably ever offered by a giveaway company ever. The 968 I absolutely love. I remember when they came out, I'm not going to date myself here, but I was relatively young, and I remember seeing them on the roads as a child for years and years thereafter. So I loved them, but you know, I think it's not quite mainstream or chavvy enough for some people that it didn't particularly fly on the giveaway. The 996 that we gave away flew a lot better, and I think next time round we will do potentially a 911, or potentially I'll just buy something green and quirky again and say sod it, I'll do what I want. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and if it's before the 23rd of December, go and make sure you enter the 968 competition. There is a first drive video on the channel which nobody watched. What am I doing with the channel then in 2022? I'm going to do more of the same, more documenting my life around collecting cars. I'm going to do, not collecting cars, the platform, but collecting vehicles, should we say. I will do more lifestyle stuff. I know lifestyle sounds a bit cringe, but I'm going to do a little bit more travel stuff, some more stuff with Ianthe, and a little bit more behind the scenes of what actually goes on, because I don't really want to be a car reviewer. It's a pretty boring existence. I just don't want to be a car reviewer. I want to do more watch stuff. On that note, what I've got on the wrist today, I've got my Vacheron Constantin Overseas 2300V. There is a full video on the channel about this watch, so if you're interested in watches, make sure you go and check that out. It's actually on a new strap at the moment. This is a 1 of 100 Vacheron strap they released, a limited edition strap they released. They released this color, a beige color and an orange color, but this is one of only 4 of these pieces of rubber that actually made it into the UK, so that is now on my 2300. It's a very nice size, it's very sneaky, and it's just kind of one of those if you know, you know pieces. There's no date on it, it's just very easy to pick up and wear. It's obviously water resistant and deals with all that life throws at it. Love this watch. Anyway, I'm going to be doing more watch stuff on the channel. Got some exciting stuff planned with some cool watch brands, and I also am aiming to buy something pretty big watch-wise very soon from a rather niche but cool brand. So that'll be revealed on the channel, hopefully pretty soon if the deal goes through. We don't know at this stage because things are likely to fall through. We don't know what's happening. I've also got some really exciting partnerships to announce as well, so there'll be some big boy churning. And of course, on the 1st of January, we've got an all new release with LD&M, all new fitness programs to download and get you in the shape of your life. Work is underway on those currently. We are shooting for those very shortly, and that is all very exciting. There's obviously also Ctek Chief Notify. If you want a second income stream in 2022, make sure you join up with that. That's a really cool platform that's helping loads of people make money alongside their full-time jobs, to the point where countless people are now leaving their jobs and doing that full-time. So that's really exciting. And if you're vaguely interested in the NFT space, make sure you go and check out Ctek Chief NFT. There is a waiting list system in place at the moment. As at the point this video goes out, you can't actually join it freely. You can join the waiting list to join up. We've got people on the platform already making money, but we're not flooding it. We're not flooding it, so make sure you go and join up with that. But it's effectively the same concept as Ctek Chief Notify, but it's for NFTs. So it just shows you what NFTs to buy, how to buy them, and where to sell them. It is guaranteed, to be honest, to make you money. It's churning. There's people, I saw this morning when I was looking, there's 2 guys that have made over 7 grand in the past week alone, which is pretty silly. Anyway, I'll leave all details for all of that below, and if I forget, then you'll be able to find all that stuff on my Instagram. Anyway, it's really, really cool. There's loads of other stuff I'm up to, but I'll bore on about that in another video. For now, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go and check out the Ctek CS1. All the links for that will be below, and if it's anything you buy for your cars in your garage in 2021 or 2022, make that it. For now, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, keep your chins up, and make sure, guys particularly, talk to each other. If you feel like crap and you need to reach out, reach out. There's no shame in it whatsoever. We all feel like that from time to time, so please do reach out, talk to each other. Don't laugh at each other for expressing emotions. Don't talk anyone down for saying they feel depressed or any of that stuff, right? It's serious, serious stuff, guys, and we've learned that again and again, really sadly, recently, over the past few months. So please do be good to each other, check in on each other, check in each other properly and regularly. For now, preach over. I'll see you all very soon.